What's going on, everyone? We got some really good news here from Genki and Einen Games. You know how there was a big riot against game key cards? Well, after all that rioting, and remember they launched that survey earlier this year too, where I was telling people they care about it, and they're the only ones that preserve physical. And that if they do that, you're still not going to find any other handheld, tell me where it exists, or that's preserving physical. It's only there. So publisher Einen Games have confirmed that Nintendo is now offering 2 smaller Switch 2 game cards. And this is what I was telling them to do in my videos earlier in the year when I said that if you had that at the beginning, it's going to be hard for somebody to criticize you, because then it will openly expose third-party publishing greed and that they want to make more money. And then there was a lot of stuff saying that when we do that, we'll be able to get the optimization that we want because of that. Yeah, maybe there's some facts to that, but even then, you still want this for indies and other things. So Nintendo is now offering 2 other game cards, and this is really good. It says previously only 64 gigabyte game cards were available. And if you guys didn't know, what that means is that for games that are like 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 20, they're like, why do I want to pay that much when I can just get the cheap game key card and get full profit along with Nintendo, because they both are going to make money. Now there's a remedy to this. We're going to take a look at some comments too, because, you know, that's going to be funny too, along with people being happy about it as well. It says, hopefully it means there will be less game key cards with these extra options. That depends on how huge the game is and what the demand is. If it exceeds 64 gigabytes, or a lot of these third-party games, though you can optimize better for Switch 2. Definitely if Nintendo works with them, and you can forget about that. But for a lot of other games underneath that, that is definitely a really good thing, because Nintendo obviously has a lot of indie. There's going to be a lot of, like, you know what I mean, not everything has to be 3D and open world. You can still have your 2D and all that other stuff going on, like when you see stuff like Mega Man and all of that. So yeah, I mean, this is good news, and obviously a win for gamers and for people who like that physical preservation. Not only on the go, bro, but docked as well. So going down, Lupac says, would people be okay with the game cards on full physical but being 10 more bucks, or will they complain? No, they want to pay for that physical. They don't care about that. They want to say, oh no, I have ownership. You think I care? I'll give you $10 more, $5 more. Some people pay more. If I own it and it's mine, you think I care? You're not renting it to me. Take it away from me. I always have it. They do not care. No, what they care about is being able to own it. And there's a big crowd for that. So that's a huge win, and I'm happy for consumers. Going down, it says, it's a big step in the right direction. Hope more follow. Hope they'll later also introduce a 128 gigabyte one for bigger games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which are around 90 gigabytes. See, that's the thing. That's definitely going to cost some more money. And with things going up, oh man, who knows if they're going to invade into this? You never know, guys. But the fact that they're doing this now is actually really good. We have to take this as a huge win. I mean, now you see this guy saying, Square, put Elliot, Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, and Bravely Default on smaller physical cartridges, and my money is yours. They can still go do that, by the way. Can someone explain to me how smaller size cards will lead to fewer game key cards? Well, dude, it's like I said, anything under 64 gigabytes can now be chosen as a cheaper entry for a cheaper card. Like, you know, those 2 options. We're going to find out more details about this in a second. So let's go ahead and go over here to the post that they said. Here they are right here. We're happy to share a positive update regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 version of R-Type Dimensions 3. We could recalculate production in a way that wasn't possible before. As a result, we've made the following decisions. The entire European and US production of R-Type Dimensions 3 for Nintendo Switch 2 will be released on a full physical cartridge. A little downside to this positive news. The price for the retail and the special edition of the Nintendo Switch 2 version will increase by 10 euros due to this still higher production cost. Yeah, that makes sense. However, as a small thank you to our early supporters, all early pre-order customers of the special edition will receive the game on cartridge at the original price they ordered. So they're sticking to their guns with that too. These guys are doing good things. They're going to get supported. We'd like to sincerely thank the community for the passionate discussion, the feedback, and the patience over the past days. Your enthusiasm for physical games and for R-Type in particular made this solution possible, and we're very happy to be able to deliver a true cartridge release. So you see what I tried to tell you, that Nintendo does care. If they didn't, they wouldn't be preserving it for their own games. That's what they do. But you got the grifters that only want to say something negative and they can't balance the spectrum. That's a you problem. That's not anybody else's problem. You just want to be a negative loser. That's pretty obvious. So this right here just gives you more ideas about Nintendo went out of their way to provide more aspects for third party. Guys, you don't understand. Nintendo is always about first party. Oh, no, we got our stuff. It's all about us. You know what I mean? First party. And they will still preserve it, obviously, because that stuff really matters. On the go, bro, and docked. Now they're going out of their way to listen to you, not ignore you, and give you those physical game card options. 2 of them for third party because they care about indie and they care about smaller studios. And they've always done this. They've always done their indie highlights and stuff. That's one thing I like about them. They know that it is the younger ones that matter too, so you can raise them up with the master techniques that you have learned and development and wisdom and knowledge that you have. So you want to raise them up and care about them because that matters. So they do this. They don't just mash AAA feed. And as this evidence right here, this shuts up more of the grifters because you're just looking weak right now. Now, going down, this guy says, you had my interest and now you'll have my money. Because that's what people care about. He's over there in the UK. I'll be there to pay an extra $12 US. Thank you for doing the right thing. Because they want their ownage. They don't care about paying more. It's about, oh, I can get this and I know this. It's mine. Yeah, I'll pay for that. It's like this. Oh, you want to charge me $10 more, but I can own it? And you want to charge, and you're charging me this, but I can't own it? No, man, give me this right here. I can always have it. Nice. I don't know. I didn't know you before these GameCube card discussions, but I know you're worthy. So many more devs should do the same. For an extra $10, I am definitely down. This will be my 5th Switch 2 game. Thank you for choosing to go with a proper card. See, people care about that. They're responding to that. Yes, this is the right decision. Going over again, Wario 64. In the same update, INN Games also confirms that Nintendo Switch announced 2 smaller cartridge sizes for the Switch 2. So we see that now, right? We did it, people. We won. We fought the no key cards physical forever. Look at it. There's a big crowd here. Definitely in the Nintendo world. You guys got to understand. They had the highest physical sales too. And they still do. So there's a huge world for that. They care. It's definitely people that only, basically play Nintendo. You got to think about it. Most people get Nintendo to play Nintendo games and like indie games and stuff like that as well. And they'll be, and even in the handheld world doing that because they're mostly getting a Nintendo console for Nintendo games, not third party. But now that you are telling them that they can own stuff, there will be people who will take that rather than other consoles because they're going to be able to own it and have the on-the-go experience. They're going to. So this guy highlighted that. Is all thanks to everyone who took the survey that Nintendo sent out 4 to 5 months ago regarding physical games versus full digital. That survey matters. They took a look at it and they answered. So the smaller card is more expensive. Neat. Wait, only 2, so it's 16 and 32 gigabyte. I expect a fairly small cost reduction here. Let's be very real. They're $10 more. Switch 2 games. Pay that up. Here comes this guy. This guy is the biggest grifter. Everybody knows this. He's a loser. Along with other people. It's like, yeah, bro, it's pretty obvious. I'd love to find more information on the cartridge sizes they are offering. I'm assuming that means a fair amount of games that were much smaller than the 64 gigabyte cards, but bigger than the stub file on the key cards will be on a cart. 1 goal down. Victory. You could put, you see what I mean? Guys, other people are happy. I wonder if this was because of the game key card backlash. It is. So we get that idea here. Additional Switch 2 cartridge sizes on the horizon. Never would have thought. Unfreaking believable. Everybody is happy about this. So guys, gamers win here. We get a win in all this mist of insanity and price jacking and RAM hell and SSD hell. GPUs getting jacked up too. And just all this nonsense happening. You know what I mean? Tony's doing a good job too by putting things on sale for quite some time. Need to put Plus on sale though. But there we have it. We got a win here. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm glad this kind of happened. Let's see now who is going to adjust if your game was 64 gigabytes and under. Where they say, you know what? We're going to start doing this because you might have a little crowd that can come in and support you. You know what I mean? You guys have to let me know what you think about this. Are you happy that this happened? Because this happened in the first year that it happened. Nintendo responded that quick because they were producing it that fast. It wasn't like you had to wait 2 years or anything and they were ignoring you. No, they did it within 6 months of the launch window. This is something to think about. That is a pro-consumer move. Once again, we see them making pro-consumer moves. We see Sony making pro-consumer moves. Where's Microsoft at? They're doing the exact opposite with way more money. Hey, I just have to say it. So huge win for Nintendo. And it just shows that they do care about gamers, as they've always are. They're a gaming company. If they didn't, they would not be doing this, and they wouldn't be preserving first party and keeping all their stuff physical. So there you have it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out. Hey, we're winning.